For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you a bit of a review on a product from Dometic. So with me here today I've got the Dometic Portico 180 Tour, basically porch awning. So it's a real quite nice, almost like mini canopy that you can add on to your caravan really. It's something actually Dometic have done in the past with their Portico. Really what we've got looking at is kind of the newest version in their brand new fabric. So essentially the crux is the same thing, but it's a more robust, durable fabric, and also it's dyed in a different way. So firstly, we'll start with the fundamental part of it. So it's an inflatable canopy you can put on to your caravan. Mainly just slides on, position it directly over the door as you kind of want it to be. There's one single inflation point located down here, which is basically like a Boston valve. So you just screw that in, pump it up, and you're good to go. Now, it attaches obviously into the rail along the top of the caravan itself, and down the bottom you have the option of actually you can slide into your draft skirt rail, like I have with this one here, and then you can obviously then tension it quite nice and neatly if you wanted to. You also got a little lug point here as well, so if you wanted to use like Dometic's kind of limpet system, you can put a little limpet on there and that will kind of go directly against the caravan. Now, with that, you want to make sure it's a completely flush bit of, so there's no ridges, no stickers on it, because otherwise it won't really kind of stick into it. Or alternatively, like I have with the back one, because I'm going over my wheel arches, in the actual part that goes directly into it, there is a little eyelet. So you can just peg directly through that eyelet. So you peg through the eyelet like that, and then tension it as you need to. So again, that works really quite nicely. Single inflatable tube, you've got not only the part that goes up to the top here, but you've also got some braces, and I'll bring the camera in here in a second, just pulling it away from it. So again, it keeps the roof looking really quite nice and sharp. This is actually Dometic's new Tour fabric, so it's a much more rugged. So it's a 300 denier fabric, but it's also got ripstop running throughout it. So structurally, it's a lot stronger, and actually, probably in testing, it's probably appearing to be just as waterproof, if not a little bit better as well. But there's a more consistent weave throughout it, so I think it does look more like a technical fabric, but still, from a sort of feel point of view, it still feels like that kind of thicker fabric that we're kind of known to love with the previous Pro material. Other things to bear in mind is actually the fabric's dyed in a different manner. So one thing you benefit from, actually, you get better color retention. So it means that you get less fading. So one of the big probably bugbears messing with kind of the Pro material, as good as it was, is that after a bit of time it did tend to look tired a bit quicker. So with this, actually what they've done is they've dyed the yarn before it's woven into the fabric. That means you get better color retention. So the best way I probably describe it is the difference between, say, a carrot and a radish. Your carrot being your solution dyed or dope dyed material like we have with the Tour fabric, versus your radish, so where you've got colour on the outside and a white in the middle. You cut each, and you've got the colour on the carrot all the way through. So as basically the product is exposed to UV sunlight, it strips away the outer coating, and that's why it looked tired when you had that white radish inside. Sounds bizarre, but it's probably the best analogy we can kind of come up with, and it makes sense really. So other things to mention about the Portico is you can buy some additional stall straps just to get belts and braces down. That for me would be a recommendation. You've got an option of like a green or a grey if you want to kind of match the material. So that also works really quite nicely. Nice PVC window as well, so you get a bit of light coming directly in. It doesn't make the front door too dark and dingy. Storage pockets located on either side as well. So it means you can put a little bit of declutter stuff there, or you want to put, say, for example, only flip-flops or shoes, something in there, so you haven't got to take it into the actual caravan itself. Works really quite nicely as well. Got a bag as standard as well, so it's a nice small pack size. Works really quite nicely. Zips up, so it means that it's not going to take a lot of space. So if you just wanted away for a weekend or stopping somewhere for a night, put this on. You've got some cover, so when it is, you suddenly get a bit of unexpected rain, like I did during our pitching video of this. It's not the end of the world. And again, because you've got the fall of the door, it means you can open the door quite nice and neatly. It's not going to brush the top of the fabric itself as well. You've got pre-punched holes here as well, so if you wanted to buy like a limpet pack, not only you can use it at the bottom, but you can also use it to help kind of seal it and minimise that draft coming down the outside. But actually, let's ping the camera in and just have a bit more of a better up close and personal look at it. I think generally the new colour looks really well. It sits really nicely. And you see how it just comes across the door. We've of course got the inflation points located down there as well, and also down to the pegging points But I think as a product, it's really quite smart. It's been very popular since it was introduced. We've got little hanging points here, so you wanted an additional lantern you could put on, that would work well. And also, you've got a little hold-on point here, so you can clip something directly onto that if you wanted to. The storage pockets that we obviously did mention before, and it's the same on both sides. So again, you've got that kind of quite neatly covered. But again, just how smart that roof looks. And even from a side, you can see how much it kind of overhangs and gives you a good amount of shelter. So even if you had your step down below, works nicely as well. And the orange tabs are basically there to kind of really show what you're going to do first before you kind of inflate it. And that's all you really do is slide into the rail, attach it to your vehicle at the bottom, pump it up, and then guy it with some additional stall straps. But nice new addition. I think, again, just smartens it up. I think it looks a bit smarter potentially than the older model, especially with it just on its own, and you've got the better fabric and more consistency. So on the whole, I think it's a really nice improvement. So for more questions or queries, feel free to comment in the box below or follow the link to take you through the website. We've got these, you can see the latest prices on these as well. There's other videos on the pitching video as well, so you can always check that out. But all in all, that is our little video review on the latest model, i.e. the Dometic Portico Air 180 Tour. So hopefully we'll see you again in our next Attwoolls Outdoors video review.